So if you're a golfer who struggles when the golf ball's on the ground, struggles getting that ball and then ground contact, well, the good news is today's video is the only video you'll ever need to watch to guarantee that pure strike. So if you are watching this video, it's probably likely that you fat the ball, top the ball and thin the ball, but very occasionally get that good strike, but you don't understand how you're doing it, so it's pot luck. The good news is, keep watching. I'm going to run through how you set up, what to work on in the backswing, how you move in the downswing to create that perfect ball and then ground contact every single time. So the biggest challenge I see for most golfers is that when the golf ball's on the floor, they really struggle getting that good contact. And yet you watch the best players in the world and they make it look so easy. They'll stand up to the golf ball, put that swing on it, get that ball and then ground contact. And we can see there some key numbers that I like to see in my coaching. The low point 4.1 inches after the ball. The club's travel down 4.7 degrees and the carry at 155 yards. Now, I know that might sound very technical, but it isn't. So basically your golf swing face on is that club head moving in a circular motion around the body. And down the line, that circle is moving on an angle around your body. But face on, what we see is the club moves up, down, reaches its lowest point, and then continues back up. But the misconception a lot of golfers make initially is they don't actually think they should make contact with the ground at all. So very often, wherever the lowest point of their swing is, it's actually too high. So then we start topping it, thinning it, and just really poor strikes. The second problem is if they are hitting the ground, they tend to hit way behind the ground. So I understand where touching the ground becomes a bad thing. But what we need to do in our golf swing is find a way of making our swing so that the lowest point is after the ball, so we collect ball and then ground. Now, I'm sure a lot of you golfers out there have been told that you need to hit down. Don't try and hit down. Never try and hit down in the golf swing. If you can control that your low point is after the golf ball, the club has to move down to reach the lowest point. So that's how we achieve that hitting down motion. So the first issue that I see, and I've got a great drill that we're going to run through for this, is at address. So the first thing we see with golfers is they're trying to get the ball in the air, so they tend to sit a little bit into that right side and maybe get the handle back. And if I make a swing from there, even though it's straight, low point 0.7 inches behind, under 80 yards carry, and we can see the contact was very poor. So the first thing I like to see with golfers is that at address, you'll start off 50-50, but I actually want you to feel like there's a little bit more pressure towards that lead side and just feel that the hips kind of move towards the target a little bit. You can see instantly there, as soon as I move all of my body towards the target, the shaft starts to lean forward a little bit. So straight away at address, we go from sitting back behind the golf ball to actually seeing that the mass of the body is maybe slightly ahead of the golf ball. I think for most golfers, instinctively, that feels different and it can instantly improve the quality of the strike. And we see there low point 3.3 inches ahead, club travel down 4.4 degrees and 143 yards carry. So now we've fixed address. Then we need to talk about how we move in the backswing to make it much more easy and simple to get that low point ahead. So I'm sure a lot of you out there watching, and please feel free to comment below if you've been told this. Get told in our backswing that we need to move our weight to our right side so that we can move back on the way down. Now, if I were to do what I see many golfers do, is they move back, and I can see by the top of my backswing, my right knees move that way, there's no real hip turn, the hips have gone, and very much my pressure's on the outside of my foot. Now, the way I like to explain it to golfers is, if you were going to move your weight back that direction on the downswing, And almost if you were going to try and jump in that direction, you wouldn't start with the weight on the outside of the foot because it's really, really hard to push and get moving. You'd actually feel like the weight was much more on the inside of the foot, ready to be able to go. So a great feel, rather than trying to move your weight, I want you to feel that as you make your backswing, that right hip is going to turn straight behind you, and you're going to allow that right leg to just straighten a little bit. You can see at the top of the backswing now, I'm still much more over the golf ball, rather than what we would normally see is a golfer way back behind the golf ball. So we're going to get that little bit of weight left at address, feel like that right hip turns behind us, and then swing down. So again, love that. And you can set up to the golf ball. And again, we can see that low point ahead, club traveling down, and again, a really good carry at 153. Now, obviously, I'm working through this fairly quickly. You might want to hit more balls as you're working through it, and you might find that just different little sections of the video work for you, and just rewatch the most important bit. So then, as we have now covered address and backswing, once we get to the top of our backswing, what we need to feel is that just as the hands are reaching the top, we want to feel that that lower body is driving towards the target. And the best players in the world are moving their pelvis at least 4 inches. I think Scotty Scheffler's almost up to 9 inches nearer the target. And you can see when I swing there how much further ahead of the golf ball I would actually be touching the ground. So we're going to set up. And I don't want you to have too much to think about. This is the key. Make that swing. And again, 3.8 inches ahead, clubs travel down 4.6 and 148 carry. Now, I've obviously introduced the ball straight away into there, but a great drill, and probably my most popular drill I do with golfers, is we need to give them some feedback sometimes of where they're touching the ground. So I think a great way, and you can do this on grass, on a range mat, is actually to mark 2 lines. So we're going to put one line back, the other one maybe 6 inches ahead of the golf ball. I'm going to put the ball on the back line. And we're going to set up with the club on the back line and maybe just do a little half swing to begin with. So we're going to get left. We're going to feel like that right leg straightens a little on the backswing and shift towards the target. And the goal is, can we land the club in between these 2 lines? So that was fantastic. I landed there, and then actually the middle of that kind of divot would have been around that front line. And the low point is where the deepest bit of your divot or the middle of that strike mark would be. So that would have been perfect ball and then ground. Obviously what I'll see with golfers a lot of the time, sometimes they're back here, very occasionally they're all the way up there, or even more common, actually don't land the club on the ground at all. So we want you to do a few little swings and feel that we can be landing it in that little area, and then progress into the full swing. So again there, I could see probably touched about 2 inches ahead of that line. And I love this drill because you don't have to hit shots for it, but it's great feedback, and the best players in the world are unbelievably good at making contact with the same area. And if you wanted, you could start off with that 6-inch area. You could make that smaller and smaller to make it more precise. So then we're going to drag the ball in on the back line. We've still got that front line, and we're trying to land the club in that area. Felt absolutely fantastic. So we can see 3.4 inches ahead. Clubs travel down 4.6 degrees and 157 yards. And definitely for me there, I could feel how I caught the ground maybe a couple of inches in front of the first line, and that would have continued down into it. Now with every club that's on the ground, whether it be fairway wood, hybrid or irons, we're looking to land the ball in that area with every single club. Now, with the shorter clubs, you want the ball on the back line, As the clubs get a little bit longer, you can move the ball slightly forward in that area. But if you can control your low point and where you land the club on the ground, I guarantee your ball striking will go to a whole new level.